Hello everybody and welcome back to Humankind. I'm actually recording these last two parts back to back. So in this part we are presumably going to be finishing off this series because at least these past couple parts have done more or less 20 turns each part, and I imagine that that'll more than likely be the case here as well. I'm going to go ahead and start my timer just so I have a timer on the off chance we don't finish it within the time limit, but I don't see that being the case. Cultural conversion of Kuwait has ended. From the Persians. Persians forgive stuff because the Persians realize they don't really want to fight me. And I can understand that, because it probably wouldn't really go particularly well for them. A mournful song. The history of whaling in the seas around the empire goes back centuries, but the advent of modern fishing techniques now means the great beasts are hunted in ever-increasing numbers. Whale oil is less used for lighting these days, but the meat and blubber still finds many applications. I would probably just say fine. Well, no, never mind. That's fine. Never mind. And is considered a delicacy on some shores, especially around Memphis and Saipar. Most find the practice an outrage, though, and call for its prohibition. What is your choice? We can outright ban it, which will destroy the whale fishing in Memphis and prohibit the construction of whale fishing. We can regulate it. It'll prohibit the construction of whale fishing, but you can, presumably, places where you have it can still do it. You're just not going to be allowed to build anymore. Or we can overlook it. I'm going to go for regulate. To be honest, I never bothered with ban or overlook. They have chances, quote unquote, of triggering another narrative event. I don't really care enough about triggering another narrative event for this. Because the bonuses don't really matter, in my opinion. So I'll take regulate, because whatever. So quotas will ensure healthy stocks of the magnificent animal remain in the sea while securing the future of Memphis and Saipar. So yeah, presumably here in Nemesis, if I didn't already have one built, it is no longer able to be built. But like I said, places that have it can still keep it. Civil engineering, more money, which is great because I'm needing lots and lots of fucking money. I can give myself tiny amounts of influence by running these festivals. It's not really worth it. It'd be one thing if this was like a repeatable tech, or not tech, but a repeatable quote-unquote building. And I just realized something, and I'll mention it in a second. Similar to some stuff in Civ is, where you can just tell your guys just make money, and they just continue making money infinitely. And I'm pretty sure in Civ it's not a flat amount. It's based upon the production of that city. So the higher the production, the more it makes. Well, here it's a flat amount, and how quickly you get the job done is entirely dependent upon your production. I'm not a big fan of the way this game does these. I pretty much never bother with these ceremonies precisely because I don't find them useful. They would be much more useful to me, in my opinion, if they were just you queue it and the city infinitely does it until you cancel it or rearrange your build queue to have something else in front of it. The thing I was just going to go ahead and bring up and just realizing is that Saipar here is that one place where we had the harbor that's at the end of a river. I'm hoping they're not actually whaling in Saipar, because I'm pretty sure you can't really have a whaling industry in a lake. And especially when it's a tiny lake like this that's a single tile. It'd be one thing if it was like maybe a significantly larger lake, like it was more of an inland sea type deal. But that doesn't really work. on a single tile lake. So like I said, I'm hopeful Saipar are considering it a delicacy to eat whale meat is because they import it from Memphis and not because they have a local whaling industry. Because I just don't see how you can have a local whaling industry in this scenario. It makes zero frickin' sense. But whatever, we'll just... The fact that harbors can be built on lakes is normally fine, except for when it has weird shit like that.
Tell me what is on your mind.
I mean, I could go to war with the Persians, and that would solidify us as the lead. The question is just, do I care enough to? And the answer is not really. Okay, here we go. I can absorb Toledo. Or absorb Kiraton. I'm gonna go and absorb Kiraton. That actually gives us a little bit of actual gain of influence now. That blew a lot of money, of course. It should be noted. Actually, Memphis can almost absorb Saipar, or Saipar can absorb Memphis. I think I'd have Memphis absorb Saipar personally, but whatever. But that can happen relatively easily. Also, it should be noted, because of doing that, actually Toledo's doing decently on food. Normally food, it becomes a pain in the ass to get your hands on when you absorb cities together, but in this case it actually has worked out well for us. Also, actually, I can get that aluminum now, so let's go ahead and get that aluminum. I think that's the only aluminum. Oh no, we have some more aluminum down here. I don't think there's any other aluminum now. So the Persians and British have gone to war again, and Persians actually gained the traitor
to see you again.
Badge. Now, if I declare war on them, I will gain the hero badge, evidently. While having this badge, the combat strength of its owner's units is increased based on the level of the badge. Actually, God, that... The game wants me to fucking go to war with Persia. It really does. And they're not that strong. They have 5 cities. I mean, technically they have 6 because of Ravina over here, but ignore Ravina. It's not built up, I imagine. Yeah, I'd say it's probably not really all that built up. I mean, it's probably decent, just not the greatest. God, yes, I could take over their home island with minimal resistance, I think. I think we're gonna do that, actually. We're gonna go ahead and start moving our troops down here to Paris. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go to war with Persia, I think, to wrap... Well, actually, we probably won't, because 13 turns
12
left.
scientist stars provide a perfect balance. You can both study and collect stars at the same time.
I'm not fucking at war with Mexico, game.
Blessings on you. Death to your enemies.
I swear to God, game, I'm not at war with Mexico.
I have
Really?
a
You
proposition
refuse
for
that?
you. I think you'll like it.
Shocking.
It is time to act.
We're just gonna have to
not
force
think.
them to give it to us
Accept.
in that case.
This stretches my code, but not to break.
I mean, it should stretch it to your breaking point, but whatever. Of course, you realistically should have accepted the deal when I initially offered it to you, but apparently you wanted to go to war over it, so we did. Well, you wanted to risk war, rather, over it. And so we played your game, and you realized, oh shit, that's a terrible idea. I had demands with the Brazilians.
Further conflict benefits none. We accept.
I'm sorry, but no deal is better than a bad deal.
The Brazilians accepted my what 3 demands did I have with them? Game? You need to tell me this shit, because I don't fucking remember. I don't know what the hell. So the Brazilians, okay. So the Brazilians have accepted demands, but I don't know what those demands fucking were. That's the thing. It's not helpful when I don't know what the fuck the demands were that I apparently enforced on the Brazilians. And it clearly had nothing to do with the land. Oh no, it did. They gave me that. Okay. Fuck you, we're going to war with Persia.
Your presence.
I'm not in the business. Such transgression cannot be simply dismissed.
Oh yeah, we're going to war with Persia. Fuck Persia. They just forced me to open a can of whoop ass on them. Here at the midnight hour of the game. Where the fuck? Why? Okay, game's not gonna let me go through here, so apparently I'm not gonna go to war with fucking Persia. I'm not allowed to go through this damn island. And they just fucking did it again.
Such transgression. There is a penalty to be. I'm not in the business of making threats. However, in this case.
Persia's a fucking dick. That's all I'm gonna say. Persia is a dick. Okay, well, if the game's not gonna let me go to war with the Persia, well, I mean, it'll let me. The game's over by the time I fucking get over there. So we'll wrap this up with a war against the Brazilians, I guess.
We have exhausted.
I don't know what we're going to war with the Brazilians over. We're going to war with Brazil over something.
Things go well in your.
We didn't have any more grievances with them, but you know, why not? No, game, I know what you're about to do if I made that move right then. Shit, Carrick. Go over there, go over there. Go, attack them. Change of plans. Thank you. Need you to scare them off. Although they're probably just gonna go for these guys now. Can't do anything about that. Inconvenient truths. There has been an unsettling turbulence in the weather in recent years. The seasons seem less reliable than they once did. Though scorned by many of their peers, several preeminent scientists argue that the emissions of increasing industrialization are causing the planet's temperature to rise, and in turn its climate to grow less predictable. They claim the disruption will grow far more severe if rapid actions are not taken. We can investigate, get some extra science for a couple of turns, dismiss it, gain some industry for a couple of turns, or protest it. Or, well, rather, act. Which gives us a flat amount of science. And then we lose industry for a couple of turns. It doesn't really matter, because by the time this is all over, we're going to end of game, so we'll just act, whatever. We got 10 turns left. Those things are in place for 10 turns. Really? You didn't attack these guys? Why didn't you attack these guys, game? That was... I don't... Goddamn game, I swear. Oh, fuck. Scare him off! Scare him off! Thank you. Oh, these guys didn't get the upgrades yet. Well, that's fine. It's not too big of a deal, but yeah, whoopsie daisy. I actually kind of expected you guys to have shots, but evidently no. A lot of you guys don't have shots. In the past, you might have. Why do you not have... Why, game? Why? I'm pretty sure these guys should have a firing arc on these dudes. I swear, you are sometimes inconsistent. Also, it is annoying that there is no means of actually telling your units to swap places once you've deployed them. Why? I don't know. For whatever reason, the devs decided we're not going to implement a system that says, hey, you can tell your units to swap positions when they're next to each other. Have it maybe take up their entire movement points for that turn or something, sure. But I think they should be allowed to. Yeah, I mean, I could do an actual amphibious assault, but that just... No, that's a terrible idea. Well, actually, with the ironclads and whatnot, it might be doable. Kind of annoying still, though, so we're not going to. Free trade agreements. Still not using them. Damn it, game. If I move up here, what is deployment? Okay, that looks decent enough for me. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's good enough for me. And I will have the ironclads that I can call in. And I probably will call them in just to deal with these guys in the back. kind of got a gap in their walls here. God damn, you are taking a lot more damage than I would have liked. I mean, they shouldn't kill you. That is a lot more damage than I would have liked. Well, as it turns out, we're not going to be needing the ironclads. And of course, the guys who were able to be reinforcements, despite the fact that none of them were ever deployed, are going to not be allowed to move this turn. The fuck kind of pathing is that? Oh, okay, it's because of the railroad. Okay, that makes sense. They're gonna hop on a... They're gonna get on the train station there, take a train all the way around. You actually get to see some trains going along the roads here. I feel like there's a better way you could have done that, but so be it. And that's the benefits of railroads. If you ever actually bother to build them, because I sure as hell don't. Again, they'd be probably useful if you were on a larger map that is like 1 or 2 continents. But when you have a handful of these smaller continents, honestly, I don't think the railroad's all that useful. Ah, the Mexicans ended their treaty with us for the cultural agreement shit. They decided they really weren't fans of the fact that I forced it on them. How many people do you have here? Same as us. Wait, I still have... Oh, apparently I missed 1 line infantry. Well, at least they're not on the front line, so it's okay. You know, one thing I've noticed often during these sieges is that the AI seems to, like, pick a unit that's on the front line, and they say, I'm gonna throw all of my all of my men at that one. I was about to, like, try and combine manpower and men power. But that's something I've noticed, that the AI tends to, like, just focus on a single unit. And so one of your units will take significantly more damage often during a siege compared to everybody else. Oh, they got... God damn, they really shouldn't have built these fucking railroads. Or these train stations, because they literally made my job significantly easier by doing so. Yeah, we can use this train station to initiate the siege. Not the greatest when it comes to deployment options, but yeah, it's still better than spending an extra 3 turns or whatever it was to go around. And I think what I'll probably end up doing is having... Oh, nope, never mind. I was gonna say have some units flank, but I don't think I can actually get up here. So never mind, that's not gonna happen. We're not gonna be flanking. Did they get the first round? No. This first round goes to us. Wonderful. You go ahead and move up.
Go!
accidentally clicked in just the right spot for the game to say, oh, okay, you don't want to interact with this battle on you. God damn it. This turn right now, so... The fuck was that? You guys don't, like, Overwatch one another, do you? You shouldn't. Literally never seen that before. It looked like both these guys fired on the same unit. That was fucking weird. Like I said, I've never seen that before. Technically, that fortified city should have been ours, and I should have been able to move right through it. Because it is technically attached to the city that we own, or that we occupy, rather. Looks like they have one more.
Yes.
I don't know where he is. Annoyingly, it takes an entire fucking turn to move into a city. Where's the last dude? Oh, there he is. Hiding up on the hill. And of course now I have to wait a fucking turn because our guys couldn't finish him off in time. Okay, you just run away. I don't want you involved in this at all. Where are you running to? Because if I can catch up to you, I will. You won't be able to run this time, and I'll finally be able to sink these damn things. Put the ironclads up front. Put all the non-combat units in the back, and you know what? Sort them by experience. The weaker guys can be up front. And there's our steam frigates. They're just gonna destroy all these. Annoyingly, we don't get any really cool firing effects from the looks of it. Sort of whatever. Like, they just kind of vibrate. Or not vibrate, but you know, the ships just kind of shake up and down. And then that's it. Like, well, that's not that cool, actually, game. You know, if you're gonna do that, it'd be nicer if you actually had the ship turn to broadside the enemy. Particularly in the case of these ones that are very clearly... that would have to broadside to do any significant damage. Oh no, this is still the same turn. Yes, of course, I forgot. Close to victory. Well, you know what? Winning this will give us what we need. Damn it. Okay, so the issue is going to be that this guy is right up here, and technically I do not have vision of him. I know he's there, but I can only attack him if he comes down and attacks me. Which obviously he was going to do. But, and even if he didn't, we had also captured their flag, so whatever. Okay, you were the one that still had a line infantry, so let's go ahead and get that upgrade done. Oh hey, there's some troops back there, but I don't care to go for them, so just head down here. I was going to send you to Harpa, I think it was. Go ahead, hop on the train, and go! Act like Sonic the Hedgehog and just go fast. Oh hey, Mohenjo-Daro has oil. Guess what I need to upgrade my ironclads into battleships? Oil. But I need 2, and they only have 1. I don't think I have oil anywhere else. Which is a little shocking. Oh, okay. The Poles have some oil, but I can't touch their stuff. So, yeah, that's annoying. But oh well, can't do anything about it. Again, not that it matters anyway. Game ends in 6 turns. You're not gonna go anywhere, actually. You're just gonna rest there. Brazilians are close to losing the war. Game, they lost it. Game's also gonna make me wait until these movements have actually finished. So, what do I take? Well, you know what? I think I'm gonna take the place that has the oil. Well, actually, can I vassalize you? Not quite. Not quite. A little shy. Can I maybe do something to get the little extra war support I need to do it? Probably not. You got some troops, but I don't think they're within a turn of me, so, yep, sadly you can't quite do it. That's fine. Well, I'll live. So, again, this place has the oil, so we'll just go ahead and take it and everything attached to it, and you know what, I'll take up here as well if I can. Or at least what I can of it.
To put it simply,
so there we go, and I'll go ahead and build that stuff for the oil. You guys are going to, I don't know, head back there, I guess. You guys don't really have anything to do. I'm just gonna queue everything up. It doesn't matter because I don't think any of these you'd actually be able to finish before the game ends. Computing researched. Extra research. Doesn't matter. Artistic ownership. I don't have the influence to do it. So sorry, starving artists. I can't do anything about who gets to own art. I don't think I have either of these. I don't. And they want me to go open-minded. You know what? Whatever, sure. And actually, I can't merge those two because they don't actually neighbor each other now. Okay, don't know why the audio looked like, or sound like it cut out there. And we'll just sort of power through these last couple of turns. I got an Aerostar, and Jesus, okay, that was actually faster than I thought. Okay. This next thing will be the end of this series. I will probably come back to Humankind in the future. I do want to go ahead and just note that. But probably not immediately. I do feel like there are some things about the game that could stand to be improved more. It realistically probably needs, like, an expansion or two, I think. Because while it does improve on a number of aspects of civilization that I'm not too big on, it also lacks some stuff. But let's go ahead and end the game.
How will humankind remember the empire you have created and its remarkable achievements? For it is yours that has left the greatest mark on the endless story of humankind. History will not remember you as a warrior or banker or farmer. Your fame was garnered more or less everywhere. You also gained fame from the construction of a wonder. Amazing. Congratulations on the success of your ambitions. If there is another thing you should be remembered for, it is for the green, thriving world you leave to the future. Your fame also derives from your religious role. You persevered as a leader of a faith in these difficult times. And though your people may have found it difficult, history is certainly impressed. You participated in the longest war. Congratulations. Under your guidance, the thrilling tale of humankind has been rewritten in your own words. There may be future adventures and deeds, and even grander scope for this grand story. Regardless, you have left a great mark and answered the question: how far will you push humankind?
Okay, I have to ask though, what was the longest war? Because I don't recall any of our wars feeling that they were particularly long. Personally. I just do not recall that in the slightest. I mean, I'd assume it was one of our wars against the Poles. Or, well, they were the Poles at the very end of the game. Because that's the only one that would make any sense to me. I'm pretty sure a war with the Egyptians, whoever they were when we went to war with them and finished them off, wasn't a particularly long war. And certainly our war with the Zulu was not particularly long. We never got a war with the Persians, sadly. And the war with the English, or excuse me, Brazilians at the very end, wasn't all that long either. And yeah, the vast majority of our fame came in the contemporary era, which isn't really a surprise. That's just kind of how it goes. And I'm going to skip it for the other players because I really don't give a shit. Okay, so yeah, here's our fame. You can kind of see, yeah, we sort of dropped down a couple times underneath, like, the Persians and the Brazilians periodically. And then it just sort of became just us and the Persians. And then there were sort of times where we kind of left the Persians in our dust, but then they sort of magically spiked up periodically. The Brazilians did overtake us on research for a little while in the second era, but generally we were well ahead of everybody else when it came to our research. And that was straight up research, not science production. Science production is, much more obviously us. There was actually apparently a bit of a blip where the Persians did overtake us slightly, but it wasn't typically long-lived. The longest war was against the Zulu. Are you sure about that, game? Because I don't think that's true. At all. I think that war was maybe around about 15 turns, which I think was more or less the norm. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, maybe it was the longest war by like one fucking turn. But yeah, I don't think it was ever really that long of a war at the end of the day. Like I said, it did not seem like it was significantly longer than any other war we engaged in. So it must have only been like 1 or 2 turns longer, and thus the war against the Zulus was our longest war, even though it was sort of within the average, give or take a couple of turns. Sadly, the game doesn't like have something here for me to see how long wars are. And yeah, our military was never particularly the biggest, generally speaking. But it was always good enough to get the job done that it needed it to do. And I don't know what the hell happened to the Persians here at the end, where they just suddenly dropped off. Like a whole, 16 units all of a sudden? I don't know what the hell happened there. But clearly something happened. Population, yeah. And you can kind of see where we dealt with the, whoever the hell you were again. The Egyptians or something. I know you were Egyptians at one point, but I don't recall if you were Egyptians when we finished you off or not. But yeah, you can see when their population just sort of disappears and ours goes up more or less the same amount that theirs went down. Apparently they did stay around though for a bit longer somehow. For like almost another 40-ish turns, I guess. Population-wise. Before finally flatlining. Yeah. Go ahead and return to the main menu. So, like I said, I will more than likely return to Humankind at some point in the future. I just don't think it'll happen in the immediate future. Again, I do feel like the game is... It makes improvements to the Civilization formula, which I think is great, because I haven't really enjoyed the last couple of Civilization games much. I don't know what it is. I haven't really gotten into the last couple of games all that much. But this game does seem to be missing some things, and so it does come across as a little bit bland at times. I think it would be great if they gave us an actual Earth map, rather than limiting us to just these randomly generated continents or Pangea type maps. I would love an actual Earth map, personally. That was generally the map I played on when it came to Civ. I don't know why, I just wasn't really big on the randomly generated continents for some reason. It didn't do it for me for some reason. But yeah. So that is going to be it for this series. Reminded I do have a Patreon and Discord. You can find links to both of those down below in the description. I do highly recommend that you join the Discord if you want to know what's going on with the channel, because that is generally where I post that type of stuff. Sometimes I'll remember to post elsewhere, but 99% of the times I only ever end up posting in the Discord because it's much easier for me, because it's typically where I interact with people. Not that there's much interaction there generally, but nonetheless. And as for the Patreon, if you find yourself enjoying this series, or rather, if you found yourself having enjoyed this series, or you find yourself enjoying any of my other series that I have on the channel, that is the easiest way to help support the channel, but there are other ways to support the channel that actually support it better, because less of a cut is taken by intermediaries. But yeah. So that'll be it for this series. I don't know what we'll be replacing this series for the Thursday slot, I think it is, that this was. And my timer was actually just about to go off. So this was more or less just in time. But yeah, I don't know what's going to be replacing this right now. Like I said, I have some ideas, but I haven't quite settled on any particular one right this second. So we'll see. But yeah, so I'll see you all next time. Until then, goodbye and farewell.